they learn to dislike learning. But the thing is about learning and being curious is that you can choose what you want to focus on. As an adult, nobody tells you what you can or you cannot study. You could study anything. If you like video games, you could study video games. So in the 1960s, NASA wanted to do this experiment to figure out how they could find geniuses so they could hire them to work for NASA. They hired this dude named George Land. George started with a group of 5-year-olds and gave them a creativity test to see how they used their imagination to solve problems. The results were 98% of those kids, the 5-year-olds, were showing genius level creativity. So then later on, they checked on those same kids 5 years later when they were 10, and that number actually dropped to 30%. By the time they were 15, only 12% qualified as geniuses. And then when they were tested as adults, only 2% showed genius level creativity. Land blamed the education system. It took a population that was 98% genius and reduced it to just 2%. So according to Land, uncreative behavior and thinking are learned. Now, why does this matter? Because it shows us just how important it is to hold on to that childlike mindset. If you want to stay creative and get to a certain level of success, you're going to have to ask yourself, am I smarter than a 5th grader? Okay, I get it. Being childlike sounds great, but how do I apply this to my life? Well, this is where the magic happens. Let's make it practical. Do you remember what it was like to be a kid? Life was so exciting. We had so much imagination, so much creativity. We could imagine our way through everything. It was cool being a kid. Even though we didn't have the freedom to make a lot of decisions, we did have the freedom to believe and the freedom to be ourselves until we got hit with the programming that changed us into who we are today. And unfortunately, for a lot of people, that is almost this robotic type of person that just does what they're supposed to do according to what the programs and the systems want them to do. How could you be more childlike? First of all, let's think about what kids are like. Kids are always excited. I got a 3-year-old, and this dude is excited about everything. He's just enthusiastic. He has no cynicism. He's just excited about everything. He's happy about everything. Even last night, he was just happy to come in bed with me. When you're excited like a child, that's maintaining a certain level of positivity. And positivity is contagious, and it also attracts more positivity to you. Being excited like a child is really going to help open a lot of doors for you because people are going to be a lot more receptive to you. You're going to get a lot more opportunities when you're excited, and you stay excited because the energy is just going to flow to you and you get what you give, right? So just being excited and just being positive will allow a lot more doors to open for you, which is going to create a lot more opportunities for success. So another thing that kids do that will guarantee you success is just having faith. Kids believe, even if it seems like it's out there and it seems like it's not probable, kids always believe. They use their imagination, right? As we become adults, and as you could tell by the study, you lose that imagination because everybody tells you what you can and what you cannot do. People start to project their realities onto you, and then you in turn take that and accept it as your reality. But if you have that faith, like a child, that the things that you want to do are possible and you can accomplish them, then it increases your chance exponentially because we attract how we feel and we attract what we are and we attract what we believe. Having faith like a child is extremely important for success. Children also trust. They trust a lot more than we do. A lot of us have gone through tough experiences that have kind of scarred us mentally. And not trusting is actually in vogue right now. It's cool to not trust. Everybody's got the trust no one. People got trust no one tatted up on their body. But you're just affirming what you don't want. Are people going to do things that you don't expect sometimes? Absolutely. And I've said it several times that people always do it in their own best self-interest. But the fact is, if you go around not trusting people and looking at everybody sideways, you're going to attract more situations like that. Your brain sees more of what you focus on, and it'll put you in more experiences where you get what you're focusing on. Obviously, you got to be smart. Just be more trusting. Give some people the benefit of the doubt. Based on my life experience in owning a barbershop and whatnot, I met a lot of people, and it actually changed my way of thinking because it made me realize that the majority of people are actually good. I used to have this negative frame of mind where I thought everybody was bad, but then I realized when I met a lot of people and I talked to a lot of people, the majority of people are good, and it allowed me to change my frame of thinking. Now I trust a lot more. But the most important childlike quality that you could pick up is curiosity. Be curious. Children are always curious. They always want to ask questions. They always want to know what's up with this. What does this mean? How does this work? As we get older, a lot of people think they have it all figured out. So they stop being curious. That's why most adults don't read anymore. They stop reading. They've been pushed away from learning because the educational system has scarred them, because they teach you so much stuff you don't want to learn, or it's so boring or irrelevant to your life, that people actually get a resentment towards learning. They learn to dislike learning. But the thing is about learning and being curious is that you can choose what you want to focus on. As an adult, nobody tells you what you can or you cannot study. You could study anything. If you like video games, you could study video games. Anything you want to learn, you could learn. Just because the educational system and people have scarred you from actually studying and being curious doesn't mean that you have to maintain that pattern forever. Curiosity is probably the most important thing, the most important childlike quality that you could have, because the more curious you are, especially when it's something that you're passionate about, the more likely you can add value to the marketplace and become a person that is a subject matter expert, that in turn will help you to free yourself from the chains of mediocrity and not having control over your life. You don't have to have all the answers. You just have to stay curious, stay excited, and stay open to the journey. That's what life is about. That's what success is about. I challenge you to ask yourself, what can you do today that'll make a difference in your life tomorrow? How can you tap into this childlike genius that's still inside of you? It's never too late. You still have that wisdom of a child inside of you. Make sure you put it to use, and make sure that you're smarter than a fifth grader. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.